Hello, welcome back to the Boardgames 4K YouTube channel, and this is a channel where we do board game, card game, tabletop game reviews, playthroughs, and we generally talk crap about tabletop gaming in glorious 4K resolution. And in this video we'll be going through the top 10 backstabbing games. And when we mean backstabbing games, we not necessarily mean games with a hidden traitor, we just mean games where you can switch allegiances, you can gang up on other players and generally cause mayhem by stabbing people in the back. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing to the channel, leave a comment in the relevant box down below, and we'll see you after this. Boardgames 4K. So first things first, we're going to do an honourable mention, because in this video we're only going to be talking about games that we've played or that are in our collection, and we're not going to be talking about games that are no longer in our collection. So we're going to give you an honourable mention to Battlestar Galactica, which we got rid of because it's too long, and we've got other games that do similar things and probably, in our opinion, better than that did. So we got rid of it, and it's not on this list, but it does deserve to be mentioned because it is a wonderful backstabbing game. So number 10 on this list is a game by Eric M. Lang, and it's Arcadia Quest. And this game, a lot of people might say, well, it's not a backstabbing game, but it actually is a backstabbing game, because you'll be running around a dungeon / labyrinth type of thing, and you'll have a pre-designed scenario, and one of the conditions of winning the game is you have to kill another one of the players. So you'll find yourself running around this map, you'll be making sort of weak allegiances with other players, and then you'll be, at the last minute, you'll be turning around and stabbing them in the back instead of the person that you agreed to stab in the back. And there's this sort of shifting thing going on here, because everybody needs to kill each other, so you never know who's gonna turn around and kill you first. So yeah, it's a wonderful backstabbing game. That's Arcadia Quest number 10. Number 9 on this list is a cooperative game called Police Precinct, and this one's got a dirty cop variant where everyone's dealt a loyalty card. Depending on how many players there are or how difficult you want the game to be, there's going to be a certain number of dirty cops, and the dirty cop's job is to try and disrupt the good work of the good cops. So it's a bit like sort of other sort of games like this where you've got a hidden traitor, and you might not have a hidden traitor, so there's be a lot of these accusations flying around, and you can accuse people of being dirty cops and you might get a penalty for that. But yeah, it's a wonderful variant. It's not in the main game, but it's a variant that you can play, and it really does work really well. And yeah, that's Police Precinct. That's our number 9. Number 9. So number 8 on this list is a Matador game that has sort of flew under the radar. It's had loads of expansions, about 3 or 4 expansions for this one, and it's Room 25. And in this one you'll be making up a grid of 25 rooms, funny old thing, and you'll all be trying to find the exit, and each one of these tiles has got a hazard, or it may give you a boost or something. And the good thing about this is again, it's got a sort of a hidden traitor sort of variant, and you can push people into fires, and you can push them into rooms that to sort of test out what's in the room, what traps might be in there, and so forth. And it's a bit like the board game version of that Canadian movie from a few years ago called Cube. I don't know if you've seen that, but if you haven't seen it, check it out. I mean, yeah, so it's sort of a board game version of that, so you can throw your friends around and push them into different rooms, and there's a hidden traitor variant, and it's a wonderful underappreciated game. And if you haven't played it, then really I'd recommend you pick it up Room 25. And in fact, I think we're going to do a review of this one very soon. So that's our number 8. That's Room 25. Number 7 is a game that we played recently and we reviewed recently. It's Cosmic Encounter, and there's not really much to say about this one because everybody knows this game. And in this one, everyone's given an alien race with a game-breaking ability. You'll be trying to land your ships on 5 of your opponent's planets, and the way you do this is you draw a card from the Destiny deck. That'll tell you who you're going to attack. You ask other players to join you, and the defence will try and ask players to join them, and then you'll each play a card from your hand, top up your attack strength, and there'll be other cards that you can play that will sort of alter the way the resolution of the fight turns out. But as soon as you've got 5 planets under your control, then you win the game. And this game is a wonderful thing because even though there's no real sort of negotiation apart from playing the negotiation cards, you build these alliances. You say, well, if you come and help me this time, then I'll help you next time, and then you turn around and then the destiny deck tells you you've got to attack that player. So there's these weak shifting alliances that crop up, and they disappear as quickly as they appear. So yeah, that's Cosmic Encounter. It's been around since 1977, so it's over 40 years old, but the fact it's still being played, still being talked about, means that this game will be around forever. If you haven't played it, you absolutely must do. Right, you need to play it now. Number 6 is a very, very small card game. It's been around for donkey's years, and this is the Resistance. And in this one, you'll be given a card. You'll either be a part of the Resistance or you'll be part of the corporation, so to speak. What you'll be doing, you'll be going on these sort of faux missions, and the Resistance needs to vote for the missions, and the corporation needs to disrupt the missions by voting against them. And all it is just voting for yes or no to who's in your party and whether or not the mission succeeds or not. And depending on how many players there are, there's going to be a certain number of rounds. And yeah, this is one of the most fun. I mean, it's quite difficult for the Resistance to win, but once you sort of get that meta game going where you sort of know which players tell you information on their body language and the way they react and stuff, then this game is absolutely phenomenal, and it's one of the best hidden traitor backstabbing games out there. It's very cheap, and there's been a few expansions like the I can't remember what the names of them are, but there's been a few expansions. There's all these other different variations on this one. So you've got the Avalon edition of this one, which adds Merlin and another couple of characters. So yeah, there's loads of variations in that if you get bored with the original, but it's a classic and it's going to be around forever. Number 5 on this list is another card game called Cutthroat Caverns, and in this one you're a party of adventurers going into these caverns, and you'll be trying to kill a number of beasties, and yeah, you've got this Cosmic Encounter type cards with attack strength, and you'll have different special abilities and cards that you can play on top of other cards, and everyone will be playing these cards trying to do damage to the monster. But the trick of this one is, the thing that makes this game fantastic is the player that deals the killing blow on the monster is the one that gets all the spoils, all the points. So you'll be looking at your hand of cards thinking, God, if I play that, then that's going to leave 2 points of damage left, and then my mate's going to come along with his cards, and then he's going to take. So you're not only playing against the monster, you're playing against other players, but you also need the other players to kill the monster. And yeah, it's a wonderful, wonderful game. There's loads of expansions. I mean, the base game, it didn't come with any sort of special abilities, but you can get an expansion that adds special abilities for the characters. And yeah, that's Cutthroat Caverns. That's on number 5. Number 4 on this list is a game by Bruno Cathala and Ludovic Malbranc, and it's Shadows over Camelot. And this is the game that we preferred over Battlestar Galactica. This is the reason why we got rid of Battlestar Galactica, because they more or less do the same thing, but this one, you can play this one in about an hour and a half as opposed to say 3 or 4 hours with Battlestar Galactica. So in this one, everyone's going to take the role of one of King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table, and on your turn you'll be doing an action that helps the party, and then you'll be doing an action that hinders the party, and a large prospect of a hidden traitor in this one. This is one of the first hidden traitor games. It's also one of the best. So you'll be going on these quests. You'll be trying to complete these quests by playing a certain amount of cards on the board, and you'll be getting swords back if you complete the quests. And there's also different things going against you, like the Black Knight and all that sort of stuff. So if you fail quests, or if there's a certain amount of siege engines on the board, then you'll be getting these black swords. And you lose a game if you get a certain amount of black swords, and you win the game if you get a certain amount of white swords. And obviously you've got a hidden traitor that's going to be manipulating the game, maybe behind the scenes or not. And it's a wonderful, wonderful game. It's colourful, it's got wonderful components, and it's an absolute classic. It's 2007, I think it was first released, or 2005 or something, and we still play it to this day. It plays up to 7 players, plays up to 8 players with the Merlin's expansion, and it's a wonderful game. Shadows over Camelot is our number 4. So number 3 on this list is another hidden traitor game, but this time we've swapped the court of King Arthur for a zombie apocalypse, and it's Dead of Winter. And this one it's sort of similar sort of thing. You've got the possibility of hidden traitor, but you've got these crises that you've got to overcome, and you'll be going to different locations like the police station, the school, or the library, and you'll be gathering resources, using these resources to complete these crises, to avert these crises. And everybody's got a special ability. You'll be going on fights, you'll be killing zombies, and you've got these expansions. You've got the Long Night expansion, which adds extra locations, extra characters, and extra stuff. And then you've got the War and Colonies expansion, which pits 2 factions off against each other, so you can play up to, I think it's 12 players or something like that anyway. But yeah, it's a wonderful game. You've got these, the thing that makes this game is the crossroads card. So once per round you'll draw a crossroad card, and it will give you sort of a very, very difficult decision to make. But I'm not going to go into any of the cards, but yeah, some of the decisions can be harrowing and difficult. So yeah, another wonderful backstabbing game with a hidden traitor, because you never know who's on your side and who's not, because everything about this, everybody's got a public agenda and everyone's got a hidden agenda. So you may, even though you're not the traitor, in order to complete your hidden agenda, you may have to make it look like you are the traitor. And yeah, you might have to slip a few knives into people's backs along the way. So yeah, so that's Dead of Winter. It's a wonderful game. It's a huge game now with 3 wonderful expansions, and that's our number 3. Number 2 on this list is a game that we've done a live playthrough of this recently. We've done a review of this one, and it's Lifeboats. And in this game, what you'll be doing, you'll each have a bunch of pawns, and you'll be sticking them in these boats, and then you'll be playing cards on which boat springs a leak, which boat moves, and then you'll be moving your crew from one boat to the other. And the thing about this is a limited amount of space. There's only one boat will move at a certain time. Eventually, crew will be thrown overboard. They'll go through leaks, and you get different points for different islands that you get to first. So everyone's got a hand of cards, and you'll be voting on which boat moves and so on and so forth. But you've also got the captain's hat cards that allow you to veto the decision. And yeah, this game is absolutely fantastic insofar as backstabbing is concerned. If you want to see how this plays out, go and watch our playthrough, because you'll be forced into making these alliances with people. But in the next, as soon as you turn your back on them, that knife's going to be stuck right in there. So I would say that this, for a light backstabbing game, this is probably the best backstabbing game you can get. But obviously it's not the best in our opinion. So yeah, that's Lifeboats. And yeah, go and check out our review and playthrough for more information about that one. And we definitely recommend this one. That's Lifeboats. So number 1 on this list is a sort of a war game, really. It's a game, an older game called Friedrich. And yeah, this game sees Friedrich of Prussia under attack from all angles, from the French, from the Russians, and from the Swedes, and all that sort of stuff. And you'll be positioning your armies around the map. You've got these alliances between other countries, but Friedrich is sort of this schizophrenic player who, the alliances with Friedrich sort of shift around. And he's basically, the idea about Friedrich is everybody needs to attack Friedrich, but Friedrich will be making alliances with other players to stop other players attacking them. So it's sort of a weird one against all, but it's not a one against all. And what you'll be doing, you'll be getting these hands of cards, that are playing cards, and they represent different amounts of troops that you've got on your board, and you'll be playing these cards in battles in different suits on the board. So the map of Europe, or Prussia, is divided into a grid, and you've got these sort of suits like hearts and spades, and depending on what area you're having a battle in, that's the suit that you'll have to play from your hand of cards. And there's this really nice, simple and smooth combat system where you'll be playing cards, your opponent will be playing cards, and you'll gradually be building up your attack strength. You've got to make sure in Friedrich that your supply chain remains intact, because if it breaks at all, then that's the end of those armies. And it really is a wonderful, wonderful game. It works best at 4 players. We've done a playthrough of this about a year or so ago, and so if you want to go and have a look at that and see how it plays, then go back through the playlists and find Friedrich. But we'll be doing a review of this one in the very near future. And so far as it's a twist on that sort of backstabbing thing, where you've got one person who's the sort of main enemy, but they shift their allegiances on the people that are attacking them. They need Friedrich, but Friedrich needs everyone else, and it's a wonderful, wonderful game. I don't know if it gets a lot of buzz. I mean, I know there's sort of these Friedrich World Championships and all this sort of stuff, but it's maybe it's because it's so dry, I don't know, or maybe it's because it's so historical. It might be the case that that's why Friedrich doesn't get as much buzz as it really should do today. So that was the top 10 backstabbing board games that we've played or that we own. And tell us what you think about our list. Is there anything that we've missed? Is there any games that you think should have been on the top 10? And like we said, if you're new here, then please consider subscribing to the channel. Leave a comment in that section down below, and we'll see you next time.